Oof, oof, oof. Very cool. Oh. I can stop. Oh, he's cooperating. Just like that little bass delivery system. Yeah. Speaking of bass delivery systems, Big Blade ChatterBait. It's a new thing here. Obviously a chatterbait makes it, oh, you're kidding me, makes a ton of noise. Come on, baby. But this one, oh, big one. This one makes a lot of noise. Obviously with a bigger blade. Come here, baby. Easy now, just chomped it. So, whoop, coming up. Yeah. Another one, just like that. Hook just came out. Nice chunky fall fish. So that's what I'm kind of doing here, is fishing the remaining weeds, and I just want something I can just really make them mad with, because they're already mad this time of year for the most part. So I'm just capitalizing on that with something that's just really noisy. And now that the rice and the pads are kind of dying out, I can fish stuff like swim jigs and spinner baits and all that. Do I have a fish on? I sure do. Oh. I don't know if I got a real good hook set on them. Another pretty one. Just like that. Boom. See, that cast I just casted in the lily pads and was able to weave through it no problem. So that's kind of the plan here, is just to bump into stuff and create a big disturbance here. And I had gone through and fished this morning with a buzzbait. And usually what happens is, you know, they're going to be shallow regardless this time of year. That's just where the warmest water is and the food and the whatnot. So I started with a buzzbait. Things that kind of quieted down on the buzzbait. Maybe they push down a little bit, but they're not as apt to eat on top. So what am I going to do? I'm going to put basically an underwater buzzbait on. Thing makes so much noise. Big bladed chatterbait. So you can see I don't have another chatterbait here to compare, but it's quite a bit larger, and you can feel that thing thump on the end of your rod big time. I'd like to open up this video with some discussion, because there's a big debate on what rod you should use with the chatterbait. And I have just always fished on braid and a fairly stiff rod, as far as, you know, the conventional rod for bladed jigs. People say that you need to use glass. And Seth Fighter provided a pretty good argument for that, in that it's like a crankbait. It's so sensitive, you're feeling all that vibration, and you tend to set the hook on the slightest difference. So like there's this thing called water displacement, where when a fish is right behind your bait, maybe it opens its mouth, you can feel that on your bait. And sometimes there's a tendency to set the hook prematurely because of that. So having that glass rod is a little bit of that forgiveness. You're not ripping it away from the fish too quickly. It literally slows it down. But I have always, I'm using a heavy action rod right now. 611 heavy action rod, 30-pound braid, 20-pound fluorocarbon leader, maybe about a foot of it, just because I could probably use straight braid, that'd be fine. But just because I like and have come accustomed to that a little bit of invisibility and a little bit of stretch and forgiveness. Like I said, I just wanted to open up the video with a discussion, like comment your reasons for fishing a glass rod, for fishing fluorocarbon, straight fluorocarbon, and comment your reasons for fishing maybe the way I do, with a pretty heavy setup with braid and a heavy action rod. But for me, you know, just getting them out of that cover and kind of feeling my way around, I love braid for that. Good solid hook set, and when they hit it, it's friggin' lightning. I mean, it's not always that water displacement. Oh, pike, you scared the crap out of me. Oh, right at the boat. This little tiny jack. It's not like that water displacement. When they hit it on braid and they're mad, it's thunder and lightning. It's fabulous. So anyway, Hopefully we catch a couple more bruisers. I should probably go back to that spot because we caught 3 in real short order and they tend to kind of gang up. So I might just do that. I got an eyeball on that corner. 2 things I've really noticed about this chatterbait compared to the original or regular chatterbaits. This thing has a ton of wander. So it kind of goes side one way and kind of side the other way. It's a little harder to control in that I think you got to fish it fairly slow. I am fishing it on a 7.5 to 1 gear ratio reel, and I'm going pretty slow with it because you can kind of burn it out and get it to the top, which is not what I want. So I'm kind of letting the depth and the action of the bait dictate how fast I turn the reel. Like I say, the thing wants to rise, you know, kind of like a lighter spinnerbait. This is a 1/2 ounce. I could be using maybe a little bit heavier one, but it wants to rise. That big bait really pulls the bait up. So you got to kind of go a little slower to compensate, which is fine because then it's got that big, sexy wobble. Like tons of wandering action, but it can be blown out. Like I said, you could alleviate that by fishing a heavier one. I would keep it down a little bit better, but for the shallow vegetation, I kind of like using a lighter one and being fairly subsurface with it. Like I said, I just got done with a really good buzzbait bite, so now I'm gonna kind of work my way down the water column now that they're not looking up as much. So this lake has a lot of wild rice, which is a very tough weed. And there's points in the summer, it grows extremely thick and you just can't get anything through it. And it's so deeply rooted, it's just really tough to maneuver a boat around and fish in. But like I've said in a lot of other videos, this time of year when the vegetation starts dying, you can really more easily fish through it. And the fish obviously use it like they would all year long, but now you just have better access to it. So like this chatterbait, I'm not afraid to throw it in this thick stuff. Lily pads, a little bit of rice, and then once you hook oh, that was a big boil. Oh boy, he came back. Oh, that's big. Just gonna crank on him. Just gonna crank. Oh, my drag is not very tight. Oh, that's a big bass. Oh, that's a big bass. Oh, that's a big bass. Holy cow. Holy cow. Oh my goodness. Oh, he's got a bullhead. No. Come here. Whoa. That is a huge bass. And look at this. Look at this. Oh. He's got a bullhead coming out of his throat. Oh. That's a big meal. Oh. Oh, that's funny. All right, I gotta stop the show here. That's for sure the biggest bass I've caught this year. I do not know how big that even is. Definitely the biggest bass I've caught this year. Come on. Freaking bullhead. Freaking bullhead coming out of the mouth. Oh my goodness. That thing made such a friggin' huge wake. I missed him and kind of just sunk it and dropped my rod tip a little bit, and he friggin' blew up on it. Look at that. Friggin' bullhead down the gullet. Holy smokes. Jeez. That's the biggest bass I caught this year for sure. Okay, I'll let this girl digest her bullhead. One last look. Friggin' lummox. I don't know how big that bass is, but it is quite large. Friggin' big bladed chatterbait. Just knocking into vegetation, creating a real big disturbance. A little bit bigger profile. As you can see, that bass just had a whole bullhead half digested. That's a big bait. So a little more disturbance, a little more bulk with the razor shads on the back. Holy, I hope we see another one like that. I love October. Oh. So fat. So fat. So fat. October, man. Look at that. Oh, you just gotta wrench him out of this cover. Jeez. Look at that lummox. Oh boy. Oh man. Yes. Obviously I'm jacked. And as I mentioned before, I haven't got to fish a whole lot. Been really busy, but now have to get out because it's fall. And that happens. They build, they get a really good build going on. They go back up shallow. The shallows are easier to fish. Oh, I love just tugging on them with a heavier rod and braid and just wrenching them out of there. So like I do with a spinner bait, you know, even a crankbait for that matter, you're always changing your reel speed and cadence. Kind of the beautiful thing, like I said, about this bait and the way it kind of darts off to the side. If I give it a quarter turn of the handle, that thing freaking swings out. So say you're getting trailed by a bass, you know, you get one little speed up like that, the thing kicks out, boom. That is the triggering mechanism. So that's something about this bait that I'm really liking right now. I'm just kind of get that big, you know, blade swinging back and forth, but I can do a quick speed up and that thing just darts out to one side real quick. And I think that's kind of been the ticket for at least a couple of the fish. Hello, thrashing. Smallest one of the day. Kill that. Beautiful gold green. Look, he's got the black lips. I wonder why. Oh, this is the place I started. I've done pretty much a full lap around the lake. So there could be a few fish tucked in this corner. So I might come from the other direction, spot lock, and really kind of break it apart. It's a lot shallower here. Most of the breaks are like 12 to 14 feet, but I'm off the break here. I'm only in 5. So there's a little bit of a flat here. And there's more fish here. Sucker's just boiling, it's so hard. Another chunk. Right in the eye, huh? Sorry about that. Look at the build there. This is the best build quality on bass. They're just picture perfect. So what I'm doing right now, the sun came out for a little bit and I was kind of worried that they'd maybe go off the edge, but then it got cloudy again and the wind picked up and I fished one side of the lake. And so now I've rested this side of the lake that I really had the best luck on, and Now I'm gonna go through it with a fine-tooth comb. I'm gonna hit little pockets that I was maybe reluctant to hit last time as I was just kind of fishing my way through. So I'm being a little bit more accurate, a little bit more selective with my cast, hitting stuff I maybe wouldn't have casted at on the first time through, to see if I can just scrape out a couple more fish that haven't seen the bait yet.